Western Norway. It's the 2019 European Team Championships First League. 11 nations are battling for glory and especially for points, with everyone counting across 20 athletic disciplines. From the 100 to the 5,000 metres, the high jump to the javelin and the excitement of the two relays, this tournament really does have it all. As for our host, Sandnes is one of Norway's fastest growing cities with a population estimated at 77,000 people. The key thing as far as we're concerned is the home city of the now legendary three Ingebrigtsen brothers. Jakob, Philip and Henrik are all competing in front of an enthusiastic crowd, and you'll see the first two of those today. Jakob and Philip in the 1,500 and 5,000 metres respectively. So there we are, the flags of all the nations here. Norway, the hosts. The Netherlands, Turkey, Belgium, Hungary, Ireland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Lithuania and Belarus complete the lineup.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of Sandnes and leader of the honorary
How about now?
Stanley Virak.
Thank you. Welcome to Sandnes. It's an honor and privilege to welcome the European Athletics Team Championship to our city, Sandnes. Sandnes Athletic Sport Club has race experience and long tradition of hosting major sports events. However, this event is the largest the club has undertaken so far. In fact, the European Championship is one of the largest sports events that has ever been arranged in this region. I wish everybody a warm welcome to Sandnes and the European Championship. Så det flott å se at det så mange her i dag, både publikum og utøvere. Det flott at Sandnes idrettslag står for dette arrangementet, som blant de store. Det stort for oss alle, det stort for byen. Det gjør noe med oss i Sandnes at sånne arrangementer kommer til vår by. Vi skikkelig stolte i dag av det arbeidet som gjort. Takk til alle som bidrar, takk til sponsorer, Norges Friidrettsforbund og til alle dere frivillige. Nå skal vi kose oss, vi skal se stor idrett, og vi skal heie alle utøverne fram. Lykke til med arrangementet. Takk.
So enthusiastic supporters out here in Sandnes, near the west coast of Norway.
It's a pleasure to welcome you all here. 9 months ago, we were awarded the ETCH, eller som vi snakker på norsk, EM i friidrett for lønnsfag. That time we were
since 2002, and that gave us some confidence that we wanted to take this on. When this was awarded, it was awarded to the city of Sandnes and Norwegian Federation of Athletics, and they asked Sandnes Idrettslag to take the event on. And there is clearly a technical challenge to do this, but also a financial challenge. And we found very quickly out that this is something we can do, and we will see today and tomorrow whether we are as good as we think we are. I think the most important thing here is that we could never have done this without all the volunteers. There are around 20,000 hours that we have spent ahead of this event. Today we have probably 500 people here working for making this event a successful event. Secondly, I would say that the sponsor and the support we have received from the authorities, whether it is Sandnes kommune or Rogaland fylke, has been very important because we think we have already secured the foundation as we speak today. So this will not be a new cykel-VM in Bergen. We will be able to do this well. So what I hope is that you will have lovely 2 days here now with top athletics and really enjoy it. The final point is that when we came here this morning at 7:30, it was raining, it was windy, it was awful. And we thought, looking at the weather forecast at that point in time, they were actually saying that there would be blitzer, lightning at 2 o'clock. We cannot see anything of that. So I'm very happy that we can offer some sun. So thank you very much. Enjoy the games.
Yes, very pleased to see that the weather better than expected. Particularly changeable. We've seen it was very sunny yesterday morning and then the rain came down, but so far it's more or less held off.
Dear city of Sandnes, for this weekend the city is turning into the Norwegian athletics capital. It's hosting one of the most important events in European athletics for this year. As this weekend, there are 4 similar events taking place. There are 11 teams competing here, and only one will be promoted to the Super League. There will be 4 of them going back to the second league. That's why this competition is so important for those 11 teams here. For the teams, I wish that the weather will stay like this, that the results will be good, that the spectator will enjoy everything what will take place here on the track and field, and I'm sure that by tomorrow everybody will be happy and smiling. I would like again to thank you to all of the volunteers, to the LOC and to the City of Sandnes for this exceptional organization of this event. Thank you very much and enjoy the athletics.
Vi overlater kanskje til Stanley å foreta den offisielle åpningen før så skjer.
Yeah, thank you. And it's really a great pleasure and honor for me to declare this championship for opened. May the best one win. Thank you.
So there we have it, the European Athletics Team Championships First League in Sandnes officially open. Lots of enthusiastic young volunteers then helping out with this event, and indeed the local organisers, the sports club based here. Very excited about getting this one going. Wonderful backdrop as well. There's some beautiful scenery in this part of Norway, Sandnes and Stavanger. As well, the nearby city. Connections to the oil industry over the years, also making its name through pottery as well. Our host city, 7th largest in Norway, in fact. Here in the west, with Oslo being all the way over to the east. Sadly, world champion and European record holder Karsten Warholm having to pull out due to illness earlier in the week. But, you know, Norwegian athletics is growing and growing at the moment. It's becoming a bigger and bigger sport. I was asking the taxi driver on the way here on Thursday, how well known are the Ingebrigtsens outside of athletics? And she said, everyone knows them. And that's the case because they're coached by their father, Gert. They've been running circles around the lake towards the back of the stadium, just behind the trees, since they were little more than the height of steeplechase hurdles. And you've also got the likes of Caroline Grovdal, Hedda Høne, Isabella Pedersen, the sprint hurdler, Ola Stunes Isiana, thrower as well. You can see that some of the spectators are ready in case it rains anyway, but pretty sunny at the moment. I think that's the case, though, with Scandinavian summers. You've got to be prepared for all eventualities. A look at the timetable then sees the Hammer kick-off proceedings on the second day of action here in around 7 minutes' time, to be very precise. Then the 400-metre hurdle, so we've already seen preliminaries for those. Some distance finals as well. Women's 3,000, men's 5,000, which will feature Philip Ingebrigtsen, the middle brother. The day concludes with the 4x100-metre relays. So it could be particularly busy for those sprinters who ran in the heats yesterday, then feature in the final today, and possibly also a relay. There are some quite interesting quirks of the European Team Championships, though, and one of them particularly that makes it really exciting is the fact that it matters whether you finish 4th or 6th. It's a couple of extra points, and that really creates the unique dynamic of that fight for every few centimetres and seconds, or fractions of a second, indeed. So to the women's Hammer then to kick off proceedings here. Second time in a row that we've had a Nordic host for the European Team Championships First League. We're in Vasa in Western Finland 2 years ago, and the Finns, despite not winning too many of their events, they got lots of second and third and fourths and fifths, back to what I was talking about of fighting for every position, and that helped them get promoted now to the Super League action, which is happening in Bydgoszcz. The Swedes went up as well, also the Swiss. Turkey were unlucky to miss out on a spot. And you've got the likes of Slovakia there, who were promoted from the second league, which is happening in Croatia. The likes of Denmark and Bulgaria went down. But of course, you've got some countries who still bring their top quality athletes. So it means you have some real variation in ability between the top and the bottom in some events. Some countries just not having a particularly good steeplechaser or javelin thrower, etc.
Ja, mine damer og herrer, da det straks klart for dagens første poenggivende øvelse.
So getting ready to introduce the women in this first event. to clarify then, there's one promotion spot and 5 teams will be relegated, and that's because next time around at these championships across all of the leagues, it'll be streamlined to an 8-team format across all. So that means 5 teams will also be going down from the Super League in Bydgoszcz. And every single point counts. And in the field events, apart from the vertical jumps, there will be 4 goes each. The first 3 preliminary throws, for example, here in the hammer, and then a final later on will feature the best 3 athletes with 1 further chance to improve on what they've already managed. Beatrice Nedberger-Lano, the 2016 World Under-20 champion, 71.43, her best this year. Ilka Kurac of Hungary, 72.70 this year, World Under-18 champion 6 years ago. Wendy Koolhaas, Dutch athlete. Netherlands certainly will be one of the contenders for promotion, but they do have a fair few weak events, as do Norway. So it's very much all to play for here in the first league, as we see Bianca Gelber of Romania won every age group international competition possible as a junior. Stefan Vries, the Belgian. Kıvılcım Salman of Turkey, 72.55. She won in Vasa 2 years ago, and there are some excellent Turkish throwers. I just wonder how consistent the Turks can be, because there's a chance of promotion for them too. Hanna Malishik, 76-metre thrower at best, Olympic finalist in 2016. Vanya Silva, 39-year-old, 18 times Portuguese champion. Michaela Walsh of Ireland from County Mayo in the west. She's 21 next month. The European Under-20 bronze medalist 2 years ago in Grosseto. Dublin City University student. This is Martina Drashneva, 36-year-old. Plenty of veteran throwers here. Drashneva, 72 metres and 4 this year. Former world bronze medalist 10 years ago. And Lukas Evachuta, the Lithuanian, being introduced. Again, they have some top throwers to come throughout this competition, particularly Edis Matusavicius, the 89-metre javelin thrower. Really improved this year, and he was one of the athletes picked out at the press conference prior to this event. There was another on the Baltic countries, Estonia. They were relegated 2 years ago, but Magnus Kiert has really shone, particularly the last 18 months. An event that was absolutely dominated by Germans. Things are a little bit different this year, partly because of a injury suffered by Johannes Vetter. So Nedberger-Lano will kick off day 2 of this competition, following the preliminary rounds yesterday. 71.43, her best. So appropriate that a Norwegian should start things off. World Junior Gold 3 years ago now. Just short of 65 metres, perhaps, as we wait for that result to come up. 64.51. So to recap that, 3 rounds each. And then finally, one more effort for the top 3 competitors a little later on. It does tend to be a little staggered on the timetable, so we recap and they have a few moments to rest for one last go. This is Gyuraczen of Hungary. 23-year-old, one of those who might be in her prime when Budapest hosts the World Athletics Championships in 4 years' time. Looking here at the World Youth Champion from 2013. Hungary produced so many great hammer throws over the years, throwing centre in Szombathely. Gyuracz in the lead thus far, 66-36. So a slightly tentative opening, as we saw yesterday, in fact, but of course it was the case where we had a number of running preliminary rounds with quite simple qualification, with 11 athletes trying to get inside a top 8. A couple of interesting eliminations, including the Lithuanian sprinter Agne Šaučniene. Wasn't able to qualify. Ezine Okporeba of Norway just managed it. .61.58 has come up for Wendy Koolhaas of the Netherlands. So out of those three, she's the closest to her best, 65 this year. That's meters, obviously not age. We do have a fair age discrepancy. You've got a 16-year-old and a 40-year-old featuring in this competition. 16-year-old is a Slovakian pole vaulter, Luja Paliderova. And the 40-year-old, that's Zoltan Kovago, Hungarian discus thrower. Bianca Gelber of Romania. .73.52 at best, 68 meters this year. World Youth, World Junior, European Under 20 and Under 23 champion in the past. 65 meters and 15, almost turned there as if she was blushing at me reading out her long list of achievements. I have to say the organisers have done really well to get lots of enthusiastic young volunteers, and it's so often said, hey, let's try and give tickets to some of the school children, getting a good crowd, and a byproduct of that will hopefully be that they'll want to pursue athletics themselves or continue to promote the sport and be a fan of it, whether at professional or recreational level, get involved. To have done well in that sense here in Sandnes. Interestingly, I was told that if you're from the east of Norway in Oslo, you might pronounce it slightly differently. Sandnes or Sandnes, with the D almost being silent. More linguistic lessons for me to come throughout these 2 days. Just slipping out onto the rim of the circle there was the Belgian Vanessa Sterkendries. She's very close to her lifetime best this year with the 67.49. That's 14 centimetres off. Not off the mark here though, no measurement. Incidentally, why not clarify that if you don't get a mark, you aren't eligible to score any points. But if you do get any mark at all, then that's 1 point. So just 11 teams across this competition, because Russia automatically relegated by being ineligible to compete 2 years ago from the Super League, and the same will apply here. There is no neutral team, and Russia will be relegated into the second league. So it means 11 points for the winner, and then down all the way to first for the last placed athlete. Salman of Turkey. I mentioned that she won in Varsa a couple of years ago. There's a good Turkish team. Eda Tuksuz in the javelin, Emre Zafer Barnes, the sprinter, so too Jacques Ali Harvey. I seem to remember in Finland in 2017 they were among the favourites for the relay, but didn't quite come off with the talent that they have, as we expected. And Alex Wilson of Switzerland, in fact, managing a championship record in the 200. It was a Norwegian who won the men's 100 metres, Jotan Kwarku. So Belarus here with Hanna Malashik. A 25-year-old, 7th at the Olympic Games 3 years ago. 74.95 this year. Best out of all the competitors in terms of 2019 rankings. .63.97, so still the Hungarian Gurats. Best part of a metre in the clear in this first round. So you're watching live coverage of the European Athletics Team Championships First League from Sandnes in Norway. The hashtag on social media, Sandnes 2019. Let us know which country you're from, where you're watching from, who you're supporting, and any interesting bits of information as well that you know. What you're particularly looking forward to. Rania Silva, this is, of Portugal, 39 years old, 18 times a Portuguese champion. The last time she wasn't national champion, I make it, was 2004. Actually won this competition back in 2002. I was still at primary school then. 56.94. She has thrown 63 metres and 8 this year. Caleb Walsh of Ireland waiting to throw as we head up towards the track for the first of our finals on the Oval Office. This is Saramato of Hungary, 18 years of old, European under-20 silver medalist in Borås last month. Very confident young woman. 56.89, that's the national under-23 record. Daniela Ledecka, 5th at the University Games this year, national record holder. Pauline Kokait, the Belgian European under-23 champion, just beat Olivieri of Italy on the line after the Italian stumbled at the last hurdle. Spoke to her yesterday, she was saying, I could just see her difficulty, but I knew I had to go for it and just really concentrate on my own race in the final stages. Barbosa, Portugal, we saw there. Fastest qualifier, in fact. And Amelie Uhl of Norway, European semi-finalist, Olympian, and a World Championships athlete. Also a national record holder. Femke Bol. What a talent she's proving to be. European under-20 champion by 0.64 seconds in Borås, ahead of Mato. Then Hanna Mikhailova, Belarusian, and Elif Gülen of Turkey. In fact, the Turkish national junior record holder in the heptathlon, the 29-year-old, still holding that mark. So here we go. We'll keep you up to date with what happens in the hammer in the meantime as we watch this final of the women's 400-meter hurdles. So 8 competitors in this one. That, of course, means that 3 were eliminated yesterday. As we focus on the battle for points and national pride. Guren of Turkey on the inside, Mikhailova Belarus, Bol Netherlands, Uhl Norway, Barbosa Portugal, Kukait Belgium, Dedecka Slovakia, and Mato of Hungary, a teenager right on the outside. So underway, good driving start from Uhl, making up a bit of progress on Barbosa, who I said was quick yesterday. 9 Portuguese titles for her, 55.22 her best. Uhl has run 55.15 this year. Kukait going well for Belgium in the predominantly black kit. Uhl now coming through on her inside. Applause from the Norwegian crowd. Uhl, Barbosa and Kukait. Ball a little way back. So who saved the most down the home straight then? Amelie Uhl of Norway. National record holder. What a way to kick things off. Maximum points for the host nation. Good battle with the Kukait there on the line, and Barbosa. So 55.8 in the end. Femke Bol getting there for second place. I wondered whether she had a fast finish in the last 100. Look at this, Barbosa beginning to tire. And the youngster, the European under-20 champion, just beating Kukait. And that is a really strong way to kick off the second day. So I wonder just how many victories Norway can muster. Henrik Ingebrigtsen was saying that the best they can do, the brothers, the 3 brothers, is to win all their events and see what else the team can muster, admitting that there are some weaknesses, there are some areas where the Dutch are far stronger. Back to the hammer. This is Krasnova. So rotating fast through the circle. That's a fantastic throw, over 70 meters. Expecting the Slovakian to do well here. Twice a European silver medalist, 2012 and 2014. 71.64 puts her into a massive lead of more than 5 meters. Show them how it's done. Agna Luskasevichuta. So the only athlete yet to have her first go. Some way short of 60 metres. A little bit of frustration there for her. 60 metres at best. Hammer comes down fast. .53.99. This is how it stands after one round. You can see Stuart Kundry is the only athlete yet to register a mark. Second round gets going with Lano of Norway. Just seen her teammate Ural storm to victory in the women's 400-metre hurdles. Probably shouldn't use the adjective storm. A word even, because it might tempt fate with the weather. So no improvement. She sits in 5th place. So in a few moments' time, next up on track will be the men's 400-metre hurdles. Around 5 minutes' time. Gudats of Hungary, our early leader. 66.36. World Youth Champion from 2013, still 23 years of age. And it's the veteran thrower, 13 years her senior, who's in front. That's the thing with hammer throwers, you do tend to develop a little bit later. Whereas if you're a 23-year-old sprinter, you might be at most of your potential already. Build up of strength, experience and technique. How to best pull everything together and get it all right. Fast agility, the balance, grip, and strength through the circle. Rotational acceleration with each turn. And when the athletes get it right, it really is fabulous to watch the hammer. But you watch the quick turns in the circle. And if you make a slight error, it's very difficult to adjust yourself and correct yourself. More so than, say, the discus. You can see that the special shoes they wear, the soles often come up quite high, almost around the sides of their feet. That means that if you do go onto the sides of your feet a little bit, that it's almost like it's all one surface. You maintain good contact with the ground and the circle. Dry conditions as well, so important for the hammer. And talking of which, the pole vaults initially scheduled for today has been moved to tomorrow, and it will happen indoors as well in the Sandnes Hallen across the other side of the city, and they just wanted to make sure that we would get a good pole vault competition and not risk really poor weather here. Might have been okay, but it does also mean that they have offered free entry to crowd as well, to make sure there is a good helping of supporters because of that late change in the schedule. That will now take place tomorrow. Right, to the final of the men's 400-metre hurdles. Spectators getting right close, up and personal with these athletes. Koroknai, just as his teammate Mato was, on the outside lane 8. Kuchera of Slovakia, European finalist in 2016. Yasmani Capello, one of the best athletes here across all disciplines. National record holder, 47.81. Fastest yesterday, as you might have expected. European champion 3 years ago, and playing a little bit second fiddle to Warholm. Of course, sadly not here. Nick Schmidt said he feels as though it will be a good battle between Capello and this man, Thomas Barr, and the Dutchman hoping that he could get involved as well. Thomas Barr, perhaps most famously of all, broke the Irish national record twice in the semi-final and the final of the Olympic Games, where he finished 4th, European bronze medalist. This is Dylan Owusu, 50.81 in Ordichem this year. On to Ricardo Lima of Portugal. That lifetime best from 2007, 34-year-old. And Sandberg of Norway, really getting the crowd going. He competed at World University Games in both the 200 metres and the 400 hurdles. An unusual double. Well, when Karsten Warholm won this race in Vasa 2 years ago, it was one of his first moments. And I feel quite privileged, actually, to be able to say I was there, because he went on to become European under-23 champion and then the world title as well. Always a busy season for him, and always seems to be fighting his coach to make sure that he can line up in as many championships and events as he wants to. So still a great lineup then. Sandberg, Lima, Owusu, Barr, Schmidt, Capello, Kuchera and Koroknai. So it's Barr, Schmidt and Capello in lanes 4, 5 and 6 that we're watching out for in particular. The tall figure of Yasmani Capello always seems to have the sunglasses, whatever the weather. Can't blame him. Focusing on his own race. So too Thomas Barr, with Schmidt in between them, the bright orange, hoping to figure. So European silver and bronze medalists, Capello and Barr, who is a little way back on where you might have expected him to be, the Irishman. Capello looking hungry towards the finish, and Nick Schmidt is certainly in contention, as he hoped to be. Capello comes through, maximum points for Turkey, 49.26. 6 tenths faster than he ran yesterday. With Schmidt, 49.99 for the European under-23 silver medalist. Just seemed to have so much power left at the end. Capello didn't look too tired. Same can be said of Schmidt. Just have a look at the first bend that was. Real hunger on the face of Yasmani Capello of Turkey. So Owusu in the end taking 3rd, as we have a look right on cue, the full result. Thomas Barr in 4th place there. One of Ireland's top athletes in this competition. Women's triple jump lineup now being introduced. Laskowskaja, Belarus, now Evelise Vega. Late change actually with Patricia Mamona was initially selected. Buggy of Ireland's co-captain at these championships, also a 2-time Irish long jump champion. Dana Veldakova even of the Slovakia, 38-year-old, twice a European indoor bronze medalist. Dovile Kilty. European under-23 champion 4 years ago, formerly known as Dovile Zinzala Taita. I have to say, from the commentator's point of view, Dovile Kilty makes things just a little bit easier, but I've gladly had some assistance in how to pronounce some of the Lithuanian names to make sure we get them just right. Hoffa of Hungary, 13 meters 45 at best. The Dutch champion is Nora Ritsen. Elena Andreea Puntoroiu for Romania, 14.47 her best. 2017 European under-23 champion. She was fourth at the European seniors as well, just 6 centimeters off a medal in Berlin. And Loureiro of Belgium took Denismans. So third European under-23 medalist, this time the silver medalist from this year in Gävle in Sweden. So she'll be hoping that Scandinavia bodes well for her as well. She competed in the long jump also in Sweden last month. Confirmation of that full result. And indeed, 11 points for Turkey, 10 for the Netherlands with Schmidt. He's done really well there to get those 10 points. It could be an interesting story of the competition. The most consistent team. You do feel as though Turkey, Netherlands and Norway are the 3 strongest. The latter helped by the home crowd, no doubt, as the triple jump gets underway. Irina Baskuskaya, 7 national titles for the 28-year-old, 14 meters 19 at best. Well back from the board. So the triple jump and the hammer both underway. 13.37 has come up. But Baskuskaya, you can see that there is a very strong wind. Evelise Veiga now, Portuguese athlete. Getting the crowd going here in Sandnes. The stadium is beginning to fill up. A couple of years ago in Vasa, it was during midsummer. A lot of people retreating to the countryside in Finland. Did affect the spectators, but it was certainly, although maybe ever so slightly down on numbers compared to packing out the stadium, was a crowd that really got behind the likes of Tero Pitkämäki, who threw 88 meters, something that he hasn't matched in the last couple of years, of course, suffering with injury a little bit, and now 36 years of age. Evelise Veiga, 12 meters and 94. Just the 2 jumpers have gone so far. Krasnova, comfortably our leader. It's another throw over 70 meters. A real display of class from the Slovakian. 71.64 in the first round. Just looks so in control of the hammer. Much better when you're in control of the hammer rather than it being in control of you. It's rather rudimentary, one of those little remote control vehicles in Gävle and Borås in Sweden at the European under-23s and under-20s. It looked like one of those children's toys from a toy shop. This one is a little bit more retro, shall we say? Finals will come thick and fast. This is the women's 100 meters coming next. Mehus, the Belgian on the inside. Vegatova, 11.79 this year. Daphne Schiffers, Van Hoenenstein taking up the reins for them, 11.13. And that was set at altitude at the Chaux de Fonds recently. Baboy, the Romanian 7 times national champion. Kira Neville, 19-year-old from Limerick. What a fantastic breakthrough she's had over the last couple of years. Lauren Bazzolo, Portugal alongside her, 11.21. That's the Portuguese national record. 2 times Olympian. Miskin Ai. The shortest surname at this competition. And Oklorebo, one of the strong Norwegians, 11.1. That's the fastest time by a Norwegian sprinter. 17 national titles. That includes indoors for the 31-year-old. Well, without being too unfair, she was a little down on her best yesterday, but all she needed to do, of course, was qualify. And the final about to get underway. Mehois, Vegatova, Van Hoenenstein, Baboy, Neville, Bazzolo, Ayla, Korebo. Driving hard was Neville there. Ai going well from lane 7. Very, very even at this stage. Van Hoenenstein of the Netherlands comes through from Bazzolo of Portugal. Wow, it's so hard to separate them throughout much of that race. In the end, Netherlands, without their absolute best, still producing maximum points. 11.63. Interesting to see what the wind is, because it was plus 2.9 a moment ago in the triple jump. Of course, going the other way for that very reason. It is into a headwind. Minus 1.8. It's very close with Neville and Baboy fighting. In the end, it's Van Hoenenstein from Bazzolo, Neville, Baboy and Oklorebo. Kira Neville has done really well there, the teenager. Given the same time as Baboy. Now, typically in the event of a tie, the points will be shared equally, but I have a feeling that will go down to the thousandths of a second between Neville and the Romanian. Dovile Kilty, Richard Kilty, her husband, competing in the Super League for Great Britain in the 200 metres, over which he's had a great season. Also world 60-metre champion in the past.
Good luck with that. Let's go in for the win.
14.27 at best, Davile. So 13.68, still quite strong win, plus 2.7. Oda Utsi Onstad of Norway, 17 national titles again. 13.67 is her best. So Amalie Uhl opening up with 11 points for the Norwegians, and we've seen a victory for the Netherlands in the 100 metres, and Turkey through Capello. Back to the hammer and Bianca Gelber, so she's lying in 4th place at the moment in this second round, 64.07, followed 65 metres and 15. Just staying inside the circle there in this 3rd round. And she needs to improve by 1 metre 20 centimetres. She has improved by more than that. In fact, that puts her into the all-important top 3, which, as it stands, will enable her another go. But Rashneva well in front, 71.64 with her first effort. Sterkendries, all she needs is to register any kind of mark to get 1 point. .67.49 this year. Oh no. Head in hands, 3. No throws for the Belgian. All she needed, any kind of mark. That's frustrating. Well, there was an opportunity, there was a risk there to try and go for it. Her season's best, for example, would have put her in the top 3. Anyway, to the men's 100 metres. We'll keep up to date with how things progress in the hammer. Salam Kashafali, newly registered as a T12 athlete, said to have 5% sharp vision. Competed at these championships before in the Super League in 2015. A big favourite here. Emre Zafer Barnes, the Turk, European indoor silver medalist behind Jan Volko, who we'll see in a moment, world semi-finalist 2 years ago. Hensley Paulina, the Dutchman, 10.23 at best, made world, European and Olympic relay teams. Volko then, the youngster, national record over both 100 and 200 for Slovakia. European indoor champion, as I mentioned. Carlos Nascimento, also pretty handy, 10.13. The PB for the European semi-finalist indoors and out. Peter Resmivesh of Romania. Romanian champion in 2017. And Einar Madden of Ireland on the outside. Took up athletics towards the end of his teenage years. That lifetime best, 10.55 in Salamanca in June. Well, potentially a tight one to call. Barnes, 10.27 this year. Paulina, 10.24. Volko, 10.28. Nascimento, 10.26. The men's 100-metre final. Trabenka, Kashafali, Barnes, Paulina, Volko, Nascimento, Resmivesh and Madden. Nearest the camera on the outside. All that anticipation. And we'll have to get things underway again. Paulina. Slap of the thigh as he trudges his way back around 50 metres back to the start line, if not more. So just waiting to see what the decision will be from the officials. What colour card is in hand?
Lane 3 disqualified for false start.
That is a shame. Kasia Farley, one of the stars of these championships, qualified yesterday. No, it's in fact it's Barnes who's in lane 3. Following the false start. Kasia Farley, who's in lane 2 in the competition. He did move away from the block for a moment there. I wondered. But it's Hrabenka, Kasia Farley, Paulina, Volko, Nascimento, Rezmeves and Madden on the outside for Ireland. Nascimento staring down towards the finish line. Volko gets away well. Paulina working hard to pull up alongside. Now the Dutchman into the lead. Nascimento beginning to come through. Very close on the line between Paulina and Nascimento. Did the Dutchman just get it? Great battle between the man in the Portuguese vest. He did hold on from the dip by Paulina. Have another look here. The second phase of the start. Good from Paulina. This is Nascimento's strong phase. Powering through. It just looked on the outside like Paulina might have timed the dip well. That is close. But Portugal take victory here. And that means, once again, they receive 11 points. Incidentally, just to quickly clarify, we saw Emre Zafer Barnes of Turkey disqualified there. Now, I mentioned that if you are DQ'd or don't register a mark in a throw, then you won't get any points. But if you do qualify for a final and have no valid result, you are still eligible to receive minimum points, i.e. you'll get the number of points for 8th place, equivalent to that. Looking at Sanko Arnaldo, he set a Portuguese record 2 years ago in Barça to win the shot put competition. Eric Favors of Ireland, 1938, his best. Baran of Slovak Republic. 1972 lifetime best for the Lithuanian Anavicius. Now Marcus Thompson, just 21 years of age, European under-20 champion 2 years ago. So strong potential for Norway to get a good helping of points. 20.58 this year. Not the strongest event for Hungary, I think it's fair to say. Balázs Jetrick has the chance to represent his country here. Denzel Comanentia, close to 21 metres at best. European under-23 silver medalist in 2017. Andrei Gag of Romania, world indoor silver medalist 3 years ago. And Filip Minilov, perhaps best known as a discus thrower, but a strong shot putter nonetheless. Still looking for the world qualifying standard for Doha, in fact. 1863, his best in the discus, in the shot put, excuse me. So, after 6 events, see the standings. The Netherlands just leading from Portugal. In fact, Norway doing well overall. Just one promotion spot to the Super League available. Pantaroiu in the triple jump. As we return to the runway. So Vaskuskaya of Belarus for the best mark overall. That's a little closer to the board than some of the jumps that we've seen thus far. That really strong tailwind seems to be continuing. $13.69 for Pantaroiu. That was her first round effort. We've now moved into the second round, in fact, and a reminder that everyone gets 3 goes, and then those in first, second and third at the end of that will have a chance to jump once more, and that will happen a little later, so just before 4 o'clock local time. Maybe just a few minutes to pause and reflect all the athletes before they try and muster everything they can. So decent crowd on the home straights with Norwegian flags to boot. Vaskuskaya of Belarus, second round of the triple jump.
European Junior Champion from Norway, Markus Hansen.
So the 28-year-old with 7 national titles, pretty close on the board. Wait to see if she gets a white flag. Indeed she does, so that looks closer to 14 meters than her 13.37 first round efforts. 13.89, and that wind, although slightly less, no matter for Vaskuskaya. Athletic talent has pushed her towards 13.89. So it's the second day of action of these European Team Championships. First league, Super League in Poland, second league in Croatia, and third in Skopje in Macedonia.
I have to start a couple of minutes.
Second attempt in the triple jump.
Evelise Vega, 12.94 in the first round. That looks much better. So Vaskuskaya, 13.89. 13.94 for Vega. I just wonder whether we're seeing Portugal beginning to build a promotion challenge. They could well do so with a good helping of points from this man, Sanko Onodov, Portuguese record holder in the shot put. Very next to the top bend of the stadium. The Portuguese man just has his back both to his audience and the home straights. Favours of Ireland looks to be next to go. Let's have a look. Pretty tidy, rotating through that circle. So those 2 lines there, 18 metres, and then on the right of that, 20 metres. So we'll go back to the shot put in a moment. This is the final of the women's 3,000 metres. Grovdal, good applause from the crowd. There's Claire Tarpley of Ireland, the youngster Machado of Portugal, Subatan of Turkey, de Grand, the Belgian. So Grovdal, Costa of the Netherlands, Barker of Romania, sub 9-minute runners. There's a few athletes in this where we're not quite sure how good their form is coming in, or what kind of shape they're in.
On your marks.
Grovdal 8:44 this year. Costa 8:43. Grovdal looking so anxious, so eager to get going here in front of a home crowd in Sandnes. Particularly in the distance races, you will see just how strong the battle is for 5th and 6th and 7th to get just 1 or 2 more points. Claire Tarpley of Ireland on the outside. Fascinating story behind her. This year she competed in her first Irish National Championship since 2012. She came 4th and said that, OK, in theory, some people might see that you come 4th, you've missed out on a medal, that's disappointing, but she says she felt more like herself than she has done in years, and those years have been filled with a number of injury problems. More on that in a moment. We go back to the hammer final. Gurats of Hungary. So no improvement since that great 66-metre throw that we saw a little earlier. But she's very close to the top 3, overtaken by Gelber with a 67-metre throw a few moments ago. Let's have a look. No, still 66.36 her best. So back to the 3,000 metres, and I was telling you about Claire Tarpley and how, because of injury, she competed in the Irish Championships for the first time this year since 2012. She, in fact, in that time, had to pull out of 2 times of representing Ireland due to injury. But back to form this year. Gelber of Romania, 67 metres thus far. So battling for every few centimetres, every point in this 4th and final round. So Gelber has improved, not enough to change her position though, 20 centimetres off Salman. Been a good series for her, and she will get 9 points for her country. Well, the rain just coming down here, in fact, in Sandnes, the much anticipated rain. We wondered whether there'd be thunder and lightning around 2 o'clock. Held off a little bit, but now starting to just come down ever so slightly. 2 more throws remaining in the hammer. Salman of Turkey. 68.63 in the second. 69.09 this year. She won in Vasa 2 years ago, gives it everything in this last round. It's not going to be enough to take top spot off the excellent Martina Hrašnova of Slovakia. But Turkey will be hoping for as many points as possible from their throwers. We'll see Edith Tuksuz later in the javelin. towards the end of the action this evening. You can now just see the rain and the water jump from the steeplechase adding to its depth. Talking of depth, decent quality across this final of the women's 3,000 metres.
We're ready for the last throw of the competition, and the winner will select the last.
Karnienka, Belarus on the inside. Loreta Kanchuta of Lithuania in the yellow alongside her. Martina Krasnova. So assured of 11 points for Slovakia here. So really going for it. Can she improve on distance? It's another throw over 70 metres for the 36-year-old. So that one blip, if you like, marginally so, was a throw less than 70 metres. Dear oh dear. But 71-64 from the first round. No cobwebs. Hugely impressive victory for the Slovak Republic and Martina Krasnova. Well, we return to the final of the women's 3,000 metres, and fairly pedestrian pace. It's a little bit of deja vu since we last saw. You got the Belarusian, Lithuanian, Kanchuta really bunched together now. Grovdal a little bit boxed in, so too Tarpley on the inside. But Grovdal certainly has the quality to come through as the space begins to open up a little bit. Triple jump going on. We got one Lithuanian fighting for the lead on the track. Here in the field, same situation. Davila Kilty. Over 14 metres. Does she get the white flag? Yes, good on the board. Still a little bit to spare. 14.27 this year. She's returned to competition after pregnancy. 14.16 and seems to be improving all the time. So she's the first athlete over 14 metres, and that puts her into the lead, ahead by 22 centimetres on Vega. Last kilometre now. Grovdal to the front. It's all change all of a sudden. .7:36 on the clock with 2 laps to go. Grovdal leading the way. Twice a European bronze medalist in the steeplechase last year, the 10,000 metres in 2016. She's from Ålesund, which is a short matter of a 12-hour drive up the Norwegian coast, which is, in fact, only a third up towards Norway's most northerly point. But still, a great battle here, as we expected. Maureen Costa, in fact, a second faster in 2019, the 2015 European Indoor 3,000-metre bronze medalist. A finalist in Glasgow in the indoors. So too in the 5,000 metres in Berlin last year. Machado giving it everything to stay with them. She has never run sub-9 minutes. European under-20 silver medalist. She doubled up in that competition. She won a silver medal despite falling in the early part of the race as they hit the bell. 8:41 on the clock. What a battle this is. The Romanian in 4th place. Barca, 5th at the 2012 European Championships. But this race has really come to life in the final stages. Grovdal, Costa, Machado. Norway, Netherlands and Portugal. Grovdal looking so relaxed composed, and now just controlling this race, but Costa right on her shoulder. Machado struggling to live with this pace in the final 200 metres. These two teams could be battling for promotion. This could be symptomatic of the entire competition here in Sandnes. Grovdal, urged on by the crowd. Costa tries to respond. Caroline Bekele Grovdal has saved something for the last. Fantastic victory once again for Norway, as we could be saying quite a few times with the Ingebrigtsens to come. Costa, then Machado. A good finish. Looks like they're from the Belarusian Karni Yenka, who was at the front a little earlier on, as they all begin to come through, really strung out, so different to how it was in the early stages. Tot of Hungary we saw there, but Grovdal. 9:45 on the clock in the end. It was pretty pedestrian in the early stages. 3:36 through the opening kilometre, 7 minutes and 3 through the second, while we're watching the hammer and triple jump, rightly so, because they were exciting conclusions. But then being able to focus on the final kilometre of that race when things really got going. So 2 minutes 41 for that final 1,000 metres, in fact. Claire Tarpley setting a new lifetime best. The athlete who we said has returned to form, her first Irish Championships in 7 years. Back to the shot put. Thompson, 21-year-old from Norway. He's got some stiff competition, and not the favourite like Grovdal was in that 3,000 metres, but the youngster very capable, and 1962 at the moment in the early stages in that second spot. Denzel Comenentia, the Dutchman, over 20 metres. So good start for him. 20.82 this year, just 6 centimetres off his best. Close to it once again, 20.61 for Comenentia. Few spots of rain on the camera. That was what the athletes grappled in the women's 3,000 metres, won by Caroline Bekele Grovdal from Costa, who was so close to her throughout. Then less than a second behind Machado, Karni Yenka, Barker and Tarpley, fourth at the Irish Championships, but the top four were separated there by less than a second. Women's hammer, Harashneva, phenomenal display of class from Salman. Very impressive 10 points, particularly when you consider that Norway down in 5th and Netherlands in 7th. Just keep your eye on how that's progressing between the teams we expect to be at the top, because Portugal doing extremely well at this point in time with Nadov in the shot put, but you have to feel as though those top 4 teams in particular are the most impressive. Slovakia, through Harashneva, getting the maximum they could out of the hammer. Beautiful shots here across the harbour in Sandnes. Vega, the Portuguese athlete, trying to respond to what Kilty did. I wonder if she got the white flag there, because that looked fairly... No. I was going to say that looked close. It's always difficult to tell from the wider angle, but there is confirmation. She remains in that second spot and will get one final go, unless we see a fairly significant number of improvements, one after the other. buggy, co-captain of the Irish team. No improvement for her here. But multiple times an Irish champion in the triple and long jump. Staring down the neck of the shot put, looks like Arnaudov. Indeed it is. No, it's Nishipar. Well, he's got the Portuguese vest, so we'll go by sight rather than graphic. A chance to respond to what Comanentia did. Not at this stage. Red flag indeed, but when he won in Vasa in Finland at the first league 2 years ago, it was a phenomenal competition. It was a brilliant celebration. 21.56 remains that national record that he set in 2017. So back to the triple jump. Veldakova of the Slovak Republic. 13.24 her best. So decent run up. It just doesn't hang in there as long as she would have liked. 14.51 her national record, the 38-year-old, twice a European indoor bronze medalist. Doriela Kilty trying to psych herself up. Well, things are looking steady, pretty comfortable heading into this third round. Such a quick athlete, a powerful athlete. Richard Kilty looked impressive last night in the Super League. How will De Ville go here? Another excellent jump beyond 14 metres, and that could even be a lifetime best. The wind has been pretty strong. You can see the flags fluttering there. It was actually plus 2.1 in the last round. I'll tell you what happened there in a moment. To the women's 800 metres then on the track. Following the 3000, Tobtas on the outside. Akins of Belgium, European indoor fourth placer. She was just 0.74 off Shlena Oskan-Clark in the gold medal spot, and 0.08 off Olga Liakova in bronze in Glasgow. Bobachea of Romania won the 1500 metres in Vasa 2 years ago. Damning, 2:05 her best this year, the Dutch woman. This is Zenia Krishan of Hungary. Hedda Huna, 2017 world semi-finalist and Olympian from 2016. She was actually third in Vasa behind Lovisa Lint and Selina Buchel. Both of their teams were promoted that time around. Balchunaita of Lithuania, 159.29 at best. Gajanova, fantastic young talent, the teenager. 2 minutes, 0.58 this year. Katie Kirk of Ireland. Marta Penn of Portugal, who's twice been in the top 6 at the European Senior Championships. Little off her best this year, perhaps. And Volha Nemahai of Belarus. She was actually the mixed relay bronze medalist at the European Cross-Country Championships in Tilburg last December. So another tight one to call. This could be a tactical affair, just as we saw in the 3000 metres. But there's another chance just as they halt proceedings for a moment. There's another chance for victory for Norway, who head to Hune at 1:59.87 at best. Akens of Belgium, nearest the camera. 2 minutes exactly, her PB. So 2 laps of the track in the women's 800 metres. Nemahai, Penn, Kirk, Gajanova, Balchinaita, Hune, Krishan, Damink, Bobachea, Akens and Toptash, the Turk, right on the outside there. Katie Kirk of Ireland on the inside. Interesting story behind her. Twice represented Northern Ireland at the Commonwealth Games, including as a 16-year-old in 2010. Her father, Mark, also twice a Commonwealth athlete, 1986 and 1990. One of the young athletes who lit the London 2012 Olympic cauldron, along with Adele Tracy and Desiree Henry. But recently she's opened up ahead of her Irish debut about her battle with anorexia, showing great courage in an article in one of the Irish newspapers. So she's well amongst this pack here. Again, just as we saw, in the 3,000 metres, you've got a Lithuanian and a Belarusian near the front as they hit the bell with 1 lap to go. And again, it's a Norwegian battling for space. And less time to find the gap compared to Grovdal for Hune. Gajanova just moving on the outside, the Slovakian who I thought would be a good contender with Gemma Riki at the European Under-23s. In the end, not so. Riki really showed her class, winning 2 gold medals, but Gajanova, 2 years ago she was running 2:05 and now 2 minutes flat. Romanian Bobachea on the outside, a winner in the 1500 metres in Vasa 2 years ago. What a finish this is shaping up to be. It's Balchinaita, 5th in the world indoors back in 2010. 1:59.29, trying to get back to her best. Hune, right on the outside, coming through, but who has the fastest finish? Hedda Hune, the Norwegian. Belgium trying to chase her, but Hedda Hune just holds on. 2:04.94, once again, victory for Norway. Just as we saw in Finland 2 years ago, the home crowds really adding perhaps a few tenths of a second. It's given the likes of Uhl, Grovdal, and now Hedda Hune that little bit of extra advantage. Balchinaita just beginning to fade on the inside. Bobachea coming through, along with Akens of Belgium. She just missed out on a medal at the European indoors. This time she's inside the top 2. There are a number of quality athletes and some with perhaps more pedigree over 1500 metres. It was always a tough one to call, but Hedda Hune, the 800 metre specialist, coming out on top at the end. Comenentia, our leader in the shot put for the Netherlands. Without doubt one of the strongest teams, but a few of their athletes not here. That didn't matter in the women's 100 metres, with the Van Horenstein taking 11 points in the orange and blue colours. 20.33, another throw over that all-important 20-metre mark. And Comenentia can be pretty satisfied with how things are going thus far. So quite a few exciting battles. Pantaroyu next to go in the triple jump. The likes of Danismat of Turkey cheering her on. Good camaraderie. Pantaroyu a little bit quite close to the board. But another that looks perhaps over that 14-metre mark. for the Romanian here in the third round. One last chance to get inside the top three. Sitting in fourth at the moment, needs to improve by 20 centimetres. 13.89 is what she's aiming to beat at the very least. Vaskouskaya of Belarus holding that position. 14 metres and 6. And the wind is also legal. A great jump from Pantoroiu in the third round. To the result of the women's 800 metres, full confirmation here. Head to Huna, 11 points. Time doesn't matter too much. Akins of Belgium and Bobacher doing well. And Balciunaita put in a really good battle to ensure that Lithuania, who were promoted 2 years ago and currently bottom, so need every point they can get. 5 teams going down. But Norway back into top spots, with Netherlands holding it previously. Plenty of strong events to come for Turkey, and indeed those top three. So just a chance to catch breath and reflect on what has been a good first couple of hours here. A number of strong victories for Norway, and Hrashnova in the women's hammer for Slovakia, giving them 11 points, 71 metres in the first round. So staying with the third round of the women's triple jump. Tugba Danishmaz, 13.65 her best. Not as far as Pantoroiu managed with her final effort, but once again Vaskouskaya, the athlete in front in the standings on 13.89, doesn't look as far as that either. Looks to be similar to her second round jump. 13.59, so it is effectively her furthest legal jump. Confirming that 14.28, a lifetime best for Tavile Kilty. So down from 2 laps to 1, the women's 400 metres. Putalova on the outside for the Slovak Republic, 52.18 her best. Camilla Laus, Belgian, European 400 metre semi-finalist in Berlin, and 4x4 national record in the relay with the likes of Cynthia Belingo. Katia Azevedo, the Ibero-American champion, 5th at the World University Games in a race won by a Mexican. Not often you say that in athletics. Lisanne de Witte of the Netherlands, bronze medalist at the Europeans indoor and out. Modesta Maraskaita, the Valencia-based 200 and 400 metre runner for Lithuania. Miklos, the Romanian, bronze medalist at the European under-23s in Gävle in Sweden recently. 52.07 at best. Charlene Maudsley was also there. She was 7th in the 400. Athlete who really shone and burst onto the international scene in Vaasa 2 years ago, where she was an outstanding relay runner in both the 4x1 and 4x4 to help Ireland to second place overall in both. The athlete from Tipperary. And Nadazi, lifetime best for Hungary this year, 52.68 on the inside. So alongside her, it's Maudsley of Ireland, Miklos, Moraskaita, De Witt, Azevedo, Laus and Putalova of the Slovak Republic. The women's 400 metre final. So good start initially by the Lithuanian. Miklos also making up a bit of ground. Laos of Belgium from lane 7. Confusingly, you can also see that that is a potential finish line on the back straight, but it is in fact the halfway stage. 150 meters to go now. Azevedo 51.62 this year, De Wit 51.53, but 50.77 at best. The Dutch woman who looked impressive yesterday, with Modest Keita finishing fast. But De Wit just going to hold on to take victory in the 400 meters. The Lithuanian, the last final gear for her in the last 20 meters. Quite possibly getting her that second spot. 52.05 coming up trackside. 52.43, so it is 10 points for Lithuania. Azevedo just beaten on the line. Very, very comfortable. 11 points for the Netherlands. She did look to have broken sweat there, De Wit. So for the time being, at least, that could put Netherlands back to the top of the overall standings. Looking at the men's high jump lineup, soon to get underway. They're just about keeping dry at the moment because the rain has returned just for a moment. Saw a shot of Dmitry Navakov, the Belarusian national record holder. Talking of which, this man, Portugal's best ever mark in the shot put, Arnardov. Well, it's closer to 20 meters, but Komenentia still out front. Ever so slight shake of the head from Sanko Arnardov. It's a tough skill to maximize everything in the shot. It's that sort of coiled spring effect when using the rotational technique. Really use your strength to push through it. The wind pretty strong. It should be going across the shot put area. But we turn now our attention to the men's high jump. You can tell that because they all look pretty tall as well. Bubenik, 2:31, his best indoors. Represented his country at the European Indoors and Outdoor Championships. Glabauskas, bronze medalist at the World University Games. Vetle Ellingsen of Norway. 2:06 at best. Peter Bokosi, he featured in Glasgow, the European Indoors. Magyar Ország, across his chest, of course, Hungary. Dove Armels, he was the European Under-23 champion 6 years ago. Mihai Donisan, 2:32, one of the top athletes here, the European finalist in 2012. Thomas Carmoy, one of the junior contenders here, European Under-20 champion just a few weeks ago. 2:22 was his best. He in fact has the national Under-23 record for Belgium. Alperen Asset, he was the Junior Games silver medalist. And Dmitry Nabokov, 2:36. That is the Belarusian national record. 23 years old. European Under-23 gold in 2017. World Under-20 silver 5 years ago. Paulo Conceição. of Portugal, and David Cusson of Ireland completing this lineup, being announced to the crowd in Sandnes. And indeed on the big screen. Looks behind, there you are. This is the results, confirming what happened in the women's 400 metres, with the men's to follow before too long. 11 points once again for the Netherlands. Boris Keita doing well. Lithuania hoping to lift themselves up off the bottom of the table. And there was less than a wooden spoon separating her in this race from Azevedo of Portugal. Vaskuskaya, Belarus. The final round of the triple jump here. Red flag, unfortunately, just as it was in the third round.
Ending up with 13.89 and 4th place in the competition. The next contender for the victory.
Wind has been pretty strong in the athlete's favour, but it was legal when Kilty just improved on her lifetime best by a few centimetres. Evelise Vega, you can see she improved by a metre from the first to the second round. As we quite often see when an athlete, jumper or throwers, assured themselves of a good placing and a good effort, give it everything in the third round. Maybe the same here, and sometimes it means that you don't get a white flag, but Vega has one. But still, a bit of disappointment on her face, I think, showing you that it doesn't look like an improvement for her. Well back from the board. So that means just 2 jumps remaining in this women's triple jump competition. And the first of those, Pantaroiu of Romania. 14 metres and 6. Legal wind as well. That's her best from the third round. Now she's jumped 14.23 this year, 14.47 at best. 14.28 is the lead held by Davile Kilty. You can see the cone on the runway, so just not quite ready. Could in fact mean that, yeah, we're just waiting to see Vega's measurement. The officials decked out with the rain ponchos. It's a nice zoomed in shot showing you every single grain of sand. Not sure I've ever seen sand that close before, or had huge desire to. So the men's 400 metres coming up next on track. You can see Belgium in the centre. No ball A's in this competition, but Sakur, part of the gold medal winning relay squad last year in Berlin, does line up in lane 4. Bonavacia, the Dutchman, will be on the outside. National record holder, 2016 European bronze medalist. Buzna, the Slovak Republic. Lifetime best this year, 46.94. Ranked 10th coming into this, so getting into the top 8 is pretty decent. This is Christopher O'Donnell, 21 years of age. National junior record on the way. Good performance in Grosseto at the European Under-20s 2 years ago. Vasilevsky, Belarus, we saw there. And here is Sakur. 45.03, his personal best. Akin Osterek, European Under-23 semi-finalist this year. Made a plate of 46.81. This is the man who's come in at the last minute for Carsten Warholm, Fredrik Övereng, with the world champion unfortunately being ill. But Övereng gets his opportunity in the spotlight in front of a home crowd. Ricardo dos Santos on the inside, Portuguese national record holder when coming 7th in Berlin last year. I wonder if Bonavacia will indeed put those sunglasses on, because few spots of rain coming down doesn't quite merit it, but at least perhaps allows him to stay cool, composed and focused. Dos Santos, Övereng, Ozurek, Sakur, Vasilevsky, O'Donnell, Buzna and Bonavacia, sunglasses or not. Set and away we go. Good start then by Sakur of Belgium from lane 4. Closing down on Vasilevsky. O'Donnell making up good ground. So the halfway point here, Bonavacia, good lead on the outside, 44.72 at best. That was from Beijing in 2015, in fact, where he was a semi-finalist. Sakur now really charging through the centre. Into the last 70 metres or so. Dos Santos, look at him coming through on the inside. Once again, so difficult to separate them. Sakur coming to the line here. Close between Dos Santos, O'Donnell and the fading Bonavacia. Sunglasses chose to wear in the end. Jonathan Sakur, strongest down the home straight. Well-judged race also from O'Donnell, you'd have to say. Looked like he got 3rd spot in the end, same as Kieran Neville in the 100 metres earlier. 2nd, in fact, ahead of Dos Santos and behind Sakur. Finally, Pantaroiu can have her final go in the triple jump. So aiming for Kilty's 14.28, shake of the head, but it was good on the board. And looked over 14 metres in the sandpit. You can never quite tell from athlete reaction sometimes. Sometimes you get a lifetime best and say, I wanted to go further, I wanted to run quicker. But that's what it takes to become a champion sometimes. 14.24, well, she was aiming to better 14.28. In the end, she's just 4 centimetres off. And that means Davila Kilty, formerly, you may have known her as Davila Zinzalataita, new lifetime best. So a smile for her, and now the focus on the last go. The pressure is off. These victories really being shared among the nations. Slovak Republic in the hammer, Lithuania in the triple jump. What can Zinzalataita now Kilty do? Well, she's impressed, just like Richard did yesterday for Great Britain in the 200 metres in the Super League in Bydgoszcz in Poland. Well back from the board there. The pressure was off. Sometimes, with the pressure on, it helps some athletes really produce their best. But she doesn't mind. Strong competition. You can see that that best jump overall was the only one with a legal wind as well. Lithuania promoted 2 years ago, and some of their best athletes coming through with great performances. So this is the results of the men's 400 metres, confirming that fairly comfortable victory for Secours, being very close with O'Donnell being given that second spot, 0.04 of a second ahead of Dos Santos. O'Donnell, fantastically well judged race, beating Bonavacia. All of those three, the world semi-finalist and European bronze medalist from 3 years ago. Vetlur Ellingson, PB, 2 meters and 6, so one of those early in this competition at 2 meters. Fantastic clearance thus far. So just catching up on what's been happening in the high jump. We have 5 athletes that have entered thus far, 2 at 1 meters 95. One of them was Ellingson and Bubenik. Kilty, new lifetime best, 11 points for Lithuania. And once again, Romania near the sharp end of the standings, and Portugal helping their campaign for promotion. Arnardov behind Bonavacia at the moment, but Portugal, look at that, leading overall now by just 2 points. 5 points further back are Norway, and then I think, as we expected, there would be a little bit of a gap, but Turkey thought they would be a bit higher. Plenty more to come, but it could indeed be separated at the end of tomorrow by just a few points. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Arnardov looks ready to go, shot put in hand. So you're watching live coverage of these European Athletics Team Championships from Sandnes. Next on the track, the final of the men's 5,000 metres, and the first of the 3 Ingebrigtsen brothers competing here in their home city. There is Philip, the middle brother, 2016 European 1500 metre champion. Listen to that noise. European cross-country champion as well, world bronze medalist. Zahajda, European marathon competitor last year in Berlin. Ryan Forsyth, he's had a great year over 1,500, 5,000 and 10,000. New lifetime bests. Lohish is PB 14 minutes 11 in Brest this year. Aras Kaya of Turkey, 13:23, one of the top stars in this lineup, but he'll have to go toe-to-toe with Philip Ingebrigtsen, with Bushiki, the Belgian, on the inside. So we're underway then, and Ryan Forsyth of Ireland, emerging through the centre, looks keen to get on with this one. 13:38.01, his new best. Also looked good over 10,000 metres, both Sacramento in May, and then improving on his 10,000 metre PB in Highgate at the European 10,000 metre Cup at the start of last month. Over to the shot put. deep breath for Onarov. Surprisingly, I think you'd say outside the top 4 or outside the top 3. Inside the top 4. Just needs 3 centimetres to get 1 extra point here. And that's a fabulous throw. Does he get the white flag? No. That's why he's frustrated. Oh, so different from 2 years ago when he set the Portuguese national record. When he celebrated in delight, 21.56 that occasion. Here, a best of 19.59. We will see the remaining 3 throws in a moment's time. Araskaya leading this one. Philip Ingebrigtsen in the midst of the pack there, fighting with Ryan Forsyth. So, 11 laps to go for these men. 67 lap that time around. As we head back to the shot put, the crowd applauding 21-year-old Marcus Thompson. 19 meters 62 is best so far. Gets the white flag. So Thompson, 20.58, his best. Is there any improvement on 1962? 1990 is Nishikawa in second spot overall. No, 1884. But he gets 9 points for Norway, with Philip Ingebrigtsen hoping to get at least that, if not more. I mentioned that Henrik was saying yesterday the rain really begins to fall down hard here. And look at the wind as well. I tell you what, I thought my hotel was haunted last night. There was what seemed to be ghosts wailing about, but it was just the wind, to be honest. I should really grow up and not believe in ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? Let us know. Hashtag Sandnes 2019 on social media. Araskaya there, leading the race at the moment. 1 kilometre in as we head to the penultimate throw in the shot put. Nishipar, Belarusian, really goes for it right on that 20-metre mark, but 20.61, which gets the red flag anyway, is the leading mark. Very, very close knit this stadium. The triple jumpers, you can see that is the sandpit, literally centimetres away from the track. And I wonder whether Nishipar or Komanentia will just give their teammates a wave as they come through. 9 laps to go. Slightly quicker this time around, 65 seconds, battling with the rain falling, but hey, nothing different from what they'll be used to. Araskaya still leading the way for Turkey. In the women's 3,000 metres earlier on, we saw very much the same picture until Caroline Björkeli-Grovdal really pushed through the last kilometre, matched almost all the way by Costa of the Netherlands. Other coffee shops are available. And Machado of Portugal, the young athlete, very impressive. Komanentia, final throw in the men's shot put that we'll see in a moment's time. Indeed, his moment is now. Last throw here. Circle getting wetter, unfortunately. And it is another red flag, but doesn't matter. 11 points for Komanentia, and he's beaten a good field. It was always difficult to improve. Oh, you can see there, very slippery, and did well, in fact, to avoid falling and possibly hurting himself as well. Dental, job well done. It seems that whenever we cut to the field events, the competitors on the track don't change anything. They wait for us to resume following them. Aras Kaya. 13.23 at best over 5,000 metres, 13.55 this year, 25-year-old, 2016 European 3,000 metre steeplechase silver medalist. European cross-country champion that year also. But the reigning champion in Tilburg last December, well, that was Philip Ingebrigtsen, who is in 4th place at the moment. He's got Ryan Forsyth of Ireland on his inside. I mentioned he's really coming into this in form. Ranked 3rd overall. Neaston, the Dutchman in front of him, ranked 4th, 13.40.93 compared to 13.38 of Forsyth. So, hey, there's not much in it. 22-year-old Neaston just a little way behind. Philip Ingebrigtsen, I'm sure, will try and close that gap and just manage those two ahead. Really is driving rain. With the wind here as well. Six laps to go, 66 seconds, fairly consistent here for Kaya. It was Ali Kaya, in fact, his teammate who won a couple of years ago in Vasa. Philip Ingebrigtsen, though, Henrik was saying in the press conference that the best they can do is just win their events and hope the rest of the team is really inspired and spurred on to try and challenge for promotion, admitting that there are some weak areas, but thus far, starting off in the 400-metre hurdles with Amelie Uhl, and then continuing with Hedda Hune in 800, and Caroline Bjørkelid-Grovdal in the women's 3,000 metres. Norway have been very, very strong. Neaston a little way back, now perhaps struggling a little as they come through with 5 laps and 2 kilometres remaining. 2:46 for that last kilometre. And you've now got Turkey, Norway and Portugal 1, 2 and 3. 11, 10 and 9 points. Dedication to photography there. Lying on the bend like he's on the beach. Would much rather be on the beach, I'm sure, with a glass of rosé, but dedication to the sport I'm sure he loves. Kaya, Ingebrigtsen, the top two. Gomez of Portugal behind, and very much matching blow for blow, just like Machado was until the very final part of the women's 3,000 metres. Just about in height order, these top three as well. Four laps to go, getting closer and closer all the time, and then you've got another chasing trio here. Forsyth leading that one. Soare of Romania with him. Belarusian a little way back, so you can see looking a little tired out there. By contrast, Aras Kaya just controlling the pace of this race. What has Philip Ingebrigtsen saved? Because this year on season's best, Ingebrigtsen 44 seconds quicker. The crowd here in Sandnes, his home city, the lake in the background where he and his brothers have been doing lap after lap after lap, coached by their father Geert for years and years. The middle brother is Philip Ingebrigtsen, and he's in that sandwich of Turkey and Portugal. 3 laps to go now. Let's have a look. 2 minutes 14. Well, you almost think they'll be holding hands when they hit the belt, because just nothing to separate them. It's almost as though Kaya just taking a little bit of a breather. He knows that the kick is coming from Ingebrigtsen, but when will the Norwegian choose to strike? Will he push on with 800 meters to go? Well, now he chooses to take that chance. The European cross-country champion, the world 1500 meter bronze medalist, 13 minutes 11, his lifetime best this year. Watching on the man who leads Team Ingebrigtsen. They are absolute legends, household names in Norway. Could they get 3 victories here, with Jakob in the 1500 meters later and Henrik, the oldest of the 3, in the 3000 meters that concludes this competition tomorrow. But just look at Filip Ingebrigtsen. Wiping his brow is Aras Kaya. Björk watches on. Chanting now from the crowd. Well, 2 years ago, the Ingebrigtsens missed their flight and weren't able to compete. They had no excuse in 2019. Just minutes from where they live and have grown up. What a moment this is for Filip Ingebrigtsen. Going to come through leading by the best part of the home straight from Aras Kaya of Turkey. Still Gomez in 3rd place, but looking like he's struggling just slightly. So 12:39 on the clock with 1 lap to go. Here is Kaya. Can he hold on? Who saved their best for the final 400 meters? Who saved anything, in fact? Ingebrigtsen certainly has. You have to admire the confidence of an athlete who really goes out, doesn't wait until the last 200, knows what they're capable of. He's celebrating on the back straight. Looking for 3 Ingebrigtsen victories out of 3. What a chance to do it here at these European Athletics Team Championships. Fist in the air for Filip. Chose his moment with a couple of laps to go to break Aras Kaya of Turkey. Victory for Norway once again today. 13.37 on the clock. Damp conditions here in Sandnes, his home city. Here comes the tiring Aras Kaya, but he's just about going to hold on. That battle for 3rd and 4th, so important. That is a microcosm of these European Team Championships, as the Romanian Soare looked like got that place on the line. As in comes Sahajda, marathon runner, competed at the World Half Marathon Championships as well last year, and for Forsyth of Ireland also. It's a lifetime best for Soare. And Geert Ingebrigtsen, looking stern-faced. He expects no less, I'm sure, than 3 victories. Will go down to greet and congratulate the first of his sons to run here. It's a lifetime best for the Slovakian as well. But what a picture. Celebrating down the back straight. Filip Ingebrigtsen, 11 points here for the Sandnes born and bred man. And of course, sometimes on the world stage, the Ingebrigtsens are up against one another. And at the moment, Jakob is the one upstaging them effectively, although the Ingebrigtsen records, if you like, still mostly shared among Henrik and Filip. They each will get their individual moment at these champs. course, Philippa, an outstanding 1500-metre runner, but that is perhaps Jakob's best event. With Henrik running the 3000 tomorrow. High five for everyone in the crowd. And how fitting that the sun should come out. Back to the high jump. And a clearance for Asset of Turkey. So the bar looks to be at 2 meters and 8. As we just catch up on the high jump, looks like 6 athletes have cleared at the first attempt. And Nabokov, the last to enter this competition, has done so now, and pretty straightforward for the Belarusian. More height to spare, great athleticism as well. Tidies up his feet at the end also. 2:36, his lifetime best. I wonder how high he'll go here. So rain across the lens. Looking at this result of the men's 5,000 metres. Philip Ingebrigtsen, maximum points for Norway. Kaya and Suare. Another strong helping of points for Romania. Conceição, Portuguese. No, frustrated and looking as though he possibly holding his ankle there as he came through. I wonder if the ground's a little bit slippery. Well, that's all went wrong in the final phase. Looked a little tentative on the run-up as well. David Cusson of Ireland. You can see cleared 2 meters and 4, the third attempt. And he's the last athlete to go at 2 meters and 8. Puffing his cheeks is Cusson. Great clearance. A right wobble for the bar. Doesn't matter. Powerful lean to get the Irishman over. That is giving it an almighty whack. So he can be pretty pleased thus far. 2:13 his best. Can he get a couple more heights? It would help him beat the likes of this man, Vetle Vrå Ellingsen. Will there be more delight for the home faithful? Not at this moment. So Ellingson, second go at 2 meters and 8 here. Just doesn't get quite enough height. So 8 athletes have managed 2 meters and 8 without failure. Thomas Kamoy, European under-20 champion. Oh, that was close. Seen a couple of athletes, including Cusson, just managed to get away with it. But too much of a wallop there for Thomas Kamoy, who was almost dominant in Borås at the European under-20s. Another decent female high jumper, Claire Ossel for Belgium. Just wonder how she will go as well. as we go back to the track for the final of the women's 3,000-metre steeplechase. Looking here at Olleville Lefure, Norwegian. How's my pronunciation? 11 minutes 19, her best. This is the Hungarian Victoria Wagner Györkes. Slovakia, Michelle Finn of Ireland, lifetime best in Joensuu in Finland recently, 9:41. Across this field we have 6 women who have sub 10 minutes this year, with 9 who've managed PBs in 2019. It's pretty strong. Tugba Guvenk of Turkey there in the centre, hands on hips. The fastest of all, 9 minutes 26.09. She's in fact one of those who haven't managed her best in 2019, but still comes in ranked second overall behind the Hungarian, who managed a lifetime best at the Oslo Diamond League, in fact, on the other side of Norway, eastern coast. So she'll be hoping that Norwegian tracks are good for her. Prizacadu of Romania, the European under-23 bronze medalist. Second from the inside there. It was Ireland that got silver with the Eilish Flanagan just coming through towards the end. Behind Anna Emily Moller, who featured in the first league 2 years ago, but Denmark unfortunately relegated to the second league. Moller managing a double at the Danish Championships. So 3 kilometers plus the high steeplechase barriers in front of these athletes. Prizacadu of Romania leading them out, 9:53 this year. Get on the podium in Gävle. Moved up late on with Great Britain's Amy Pratt falling at the last water jump and going back through the field. Prizacadu was one of those who came through. Van der Eycken, competed for the Netherlands, the European Senior Championships in Berlin last year. Joana Soares of Portugal, 9:55, her best in 2019. 4 times the Portuguese champion. So plenty of talent here. As I mentioned, 6 women, sub 10 minutes this year. A bit of shoulder to shoulder there with the tall Hungarian. 9:34 in Oslo, 15th in that Diamond League race. The Bislett Stadion was sold out. You see the photographers hoping to get some good shots by the water jump, as always. 70 centimetres at deepest. Van der Eycken just putting a metre or 2 between herself and the rest of the field. A great shot of them leaping over. Plenty of height to spare. At this stage, that's good. Often towards the end of a steeplechase. Let's have a look. Maybe in the beginning we see mishap or 2. Oh, yes. The Slovakian just with a half slip, stumble. All okay. for Belova, 35 years of age, with a new lifetime best this year, 10:56 for her. Not to do as disservice to the Norwegian, but she's the only athlete who hasn't run sub 11 minutes, so I wonder whether she can manage that here in this race. But this won't be one of Norway's strongest events, so a chance for the Netherlands and Portugal, possibly Turkey as well, to really establish a bit of authority in the overall standings. Tall, powerful figure, the Hungarian Victoria Wagner-Györkes, just sitting on the shoulder of Van der Eycken, who's looking equally relaxed. 5 laps to go.
3:22, just about 10 minutes finishing time. It's not bad.
So Netherlands from Turkey and Hungary, Portugal. Michelle Finn of Ireland, 9:41.23, her improvements in Finland that I mentioned. So those that we expected are at the sharp end of this race. Belarusian Tatyana Shabanova, never run sub 10 minutes. She's hanging on at this stage, the 21-year-old. Doing well to be just about part of this leading group. As I say that, you can see the difference in momentum coming out of the water jump. So tightly packed now between those 6 athletes. Guveng, Van der Eycken, Wagner-Györkes, Suarez and Frizikaru. Michelle Finn there as well. See now, not much of a gap. So into the final 4 laps. No one really establishing their authority on this race.
Now going to present a new technical event. It's the women's javelin competition.
Halfway through the chase, time was 5:03.
So it's the 6 athletes that have run sub 10 minutes this year, plus the Belarusian, Lisa Runs, a bit further back, 10 minutes 15 her best, the finest at the World University Games, where she finished 9th in Napoli. Determination on the face of the Turkish athlete. 9:40 this year, 9:26 at best. 3 laps to go. 81.51 that time around.
National champion with the PB 54.36, Emma.
Michelle Finn just out of shot now.
The national champion from Romania.
So fairly pedestrian couple of laps, but are they going to pick things up? Only 3 minutes 29 through the opening kilometre. 3:21, so slightly faster. And Finn battling to stay in contention. Barely assured. The top 6 spot.
The national record holder for Belarus with 67.47, Tatyana Kalabovic.
But the difference between
between
victory and just being off the proverbial podium is 3 points, and that's what you're going to see the athletes fight for in the last 2 laps.
For Ireland, Kate O'Connor.
74 second lap that time around. Pace visibly improving. And it's still the Turkish athlete, Güvenç. Wagner Gürkeş just measuring herself as she came over that last hurdle. So let's see who's perhaps starting to show a bit of a sign that they're tiring at this stage. Technique, bit of a stuttered run up to that last hurdle once again for the Hungarian, but very much in the mix. You can often see the difference between who's a decent distance runner who can muster a fairly strong steeplechase technique, and those who are the out-and-out expert over these high barriers. Look at the focus of Joana Soares of Portugal, who's been out into lane 2 and 3 much of this race. Plenty of space on the inside, goodness me. Said plenty of space. Pizzicaru and Soares just getting in each other's way. That makes the Romanian European Under-23 bronze medalist really kick on. In the end, no one too badly affected. 79 second lap, so slowing down, having sped up. Now Victoria Wagner Gürkeş. This is her moment. Pizzicaru, I wonder if she's got the kind of pace to respond. 9:53 at best. The young Romanian. Van der Eycken now seeing that gap really grow in the last 200 metres. Into the top end, one last time, Victoria Wagner Gürkeş. Could be a fabulous victory for the Hungarian. And just look how back Güvenç is, the Turk. I said she was one of those who hadn't set a lifetime best this year, but still 9:40. And Wagner Gürkeş stuttering into the last few hurdles, but on speed and athleticism alone. And she's produced a fabulous victory for Hungary. Look at the battle for second between Van der Eycken and Pizzicaru, Netherlands from Romania, from Portugal from Turkey, and Michelle Finn of Ireland coming down now with 10 minutes 7 on the clock. Around 10:10 as she crosses. So not the fastest race by any means, but still a terrific performance from Victoria Wagner Gürkeş to beat a quality field, including 6 women, sub-10 this year. And in the end, at least 3 athletes manage a 9 at the start of their times. Well, I mentioned this wasn't the strongest event for Norway, but you can see still the battle for the minor places here. Belova of the Slovak Republic. Orla Fure of Norway coming down the home straight here. Look at this battle, the home crowd helping Fure. She'll pick up 3 points and she'll run a lifetime best ahead of Belova of the Slovak Republic. As we wait for the Lithuanian to come through. She's going to do so now. 11:19 her time. Victoria Wagner Gürkeş, though, well, I don't think it's unfair that she stuttered into the last few hurdles. I don't think it's unfair to say that, but still had enough power, measured that race fairly well, and she beat the competition. She has 11 points. It's a fabulous victory for Hungary. There we are, 9:53.48 in the end, the official time, and it was very close for the Netherlands. And yet another high placing for the Romanians. Really impressed so far, because they're the sort of team that perhaps doesn't have many huge international stars, but if they can put together a good team performance similar to the Portuguese, then wait and see what happens. This looks like Sigrid Borge of Norway. That first throw over 50 metres.
761, Shane Hobart.
So we have the men's high jump and the women's javelin both going on in the field.
771, Thomas Vesleka. Representing Lithuania,
Borge of Norway, waiting for her first measurement. Come up. Ulrika Shilagi of Hungary. Well, in fact, it looks as though there's been a late change to the Norwegian javelin selection. It's Anna Dahlen, excuse me, 51.16, who replaces her teammate. So with national pride up for grabs, and Victoria Wagner-Györkes just having gained Hungary 11 points in the steeplechase. What can Reka Shilagi do? That is somewhere in between 50 and 60 metres. So just two athletes have thrown so far. 55.67, the best so far in the women's javelin for the Hungarian. Back to the men's high jump. Fantastic clearance for the Portuguese man, Conceição. 2 meters and 12 now. 3 athletes have cleared this height at the first time of asking. They are Amels of the Netherlands, Nabokov of Belarus, as expected, and Kamoy of Belgium. The youngsters are going well, you can see there. And at the second time of asking, 3 more athletes have cleared. Aset, Bakosi and Glabauskas of Turkey, Hungary and Lithuania. To the men's 1500 metres, and the second of the Ingebrigtsen brothers that we're going to see in their home city here. Alongside a good field there as well. Here is Jakob. Listen to the noise. Once again, grew up and still lives just minutes from this stadium. Kalashov of Belarus and Özdemir of Turkey on the outside.
On your mark.
So 3 3/4 laps of the track, and Jakob Ingebrigtsen, such a cool, confident customer. 18-year-old. He's been making a name for himself for a few years now. He broke 3 minutes 40 for 1500 metres before turning 17 2 years ago. Double at the World Under-20 Championships, 1500 metre silver and 5000 metre bronze. And then he really stunned everyone. The European Senior Championships in Berlin last year, 1500 and 5000 metre double. Perhaps the real highlight of that tournament, well, no question from a Norwegian point of view. Carsten Warholm not here, but all 3 Ingebrigtsens are. Unfortunately, Warholm, champion, European 400 metre hurdles record holder, pulling out due to illness a couple of days ago. Absolutely devastating, but the Ingebrigtsens missed their flight a couple of years ago. They are all here this time around, and Philip already, the middle brother, has had a victory in the men's 5,000 metres just a short while ago. So the Lithuanian Simas Vertasius, 6th in Berlin last year, 3 minutes 39 at best. They've really battled well in these middle distance races, trying to at least put down a marker for some stage of the race, being at the front. It's all the same with Balchunaita a little while ago. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen almost can run within himself, well within himself, and win this race. Second ranked overall on lifetime best is Richard Dolmer of the Netherlands, just fighting for space there, the tall figure in the bright orange and blue shorts. 3:35.77 for the 2017 world semi-finalist, who was fourth at the European Championships in 2016. So Norway from Belgium, Portugal and Lithuania side by side, Netherlands and Ireland, Dolmer and Corcoran. Hitting the bell, Jakob Ingebrigtsen with 2:50 on the clock. With so much that he could give in this last 400 metres. Just how is he going to run that race? Such a special talent to watch. So cool here, almost playing games with his opposition. The Portuguese man, Rosario, heats of the European indoors this year, trying to track him blow for blow. That would be a good thing to do. Use the slipstream of Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the European under-23 record holder, storming away in the driving rain down the home straight. Wants to hear the noise from the crowd. What a talent, what a delight. Another boy from Sandnes takes victory here, and Rosario delighted as charging into him comes Bertasius of Lithuania. 3:43.44 on the clock. There is no question that Jakob Ingebrigtsen has barely broken sweat, merely perspiring. 3:43.43. Only moisture will be the rain, not soaking, but just drizzling onto his shoulders and indeed onto the camera. But what a treat here for the people of Sandnes. 77,000 population, but not all of them in the stadium. But to have a home hero like Jakob Ingebrigtsen, now the challenger to the legacy, if you like, built by Henrik and Philip. Three wonderful characters in our sport as well. Over we go to the men's long jump, just getting underway. This is Thomas Veselka of the Slovak Republic. A few centimetres back from the board. 7:71, his best. It's a new lifetime best now by 8 centimetres, that improvement. Slovak Republic having that one victory from the hammer at the start of the session through Martina Hrašňová as Jakob Ingebrigtsen celebrates, and Kaladovic gets underway in the javelin now. So chopping and changing quickly to keep you up to date with everything that's happening as best we can. Kaladovic looks to be just over that 60-metre mark. Perhaps didn't quite have at full speed on the runway there. 60.49, but you can see what a powerful thrower she is. 67.47 at best, the Belarusian national record that she holds. So Jakob Ingebrigtsen, once again, following what Philip did. No, that's not deja vu. But we do once again have an Ingebrigtsen at the top of the result. Rosario doing really well to track him all the way and coming in like a steam train in behind him as the Portuguese man celebrated his second place was Bertasius of Lithuania. Good result for him following the triple jump victory from Davile Kilty, who managed a lifetime best. This is the shot put result. Cominentia over 20 meters from Nishipar of Belarus, and that means that Portugal lead the way in the standings. Netherlands and Norway battling well, and Ireland up to 4th place, helped by good points from the likes of Ciara Neville, Ryan Forsyth, Michelle Finn. Another Norwegian hoping to benefit from the good atmosphere in this stadium. This time it's the long jump. Kiplesund. First round effort. Great speed on the runway, looked good on the board. Decent on the pit. Only one athlete has ever managed 8 meters before. And that is Kiplesund, 8 meters exactly, the 22-year-old, 7th at the World University Games. Well, I thought that jump was a few centimeters further than that. Talking of a few meters further, a lap of honour, 1 lap at least for Jakob Ingebrigtsen. No question, friends, family, teammates. What a joy to have this opportunity to run and win in your home city. And those 2 kids, one of their brothers, could they be the next lot to emulate the Ingebrigtsens? But that's a great byproduct of this sport. When kids get the moment to meet your hero like Jakob Ingebrigtsen and continue to follow the sport. So long jump, javelin and high jump going on all at the same time. This is Bubenik. And second attempt at 2 meters and 15, I do believe. 3 athletes have cleared this height and make that 4. Great lean over the bar from the man from the Slovak Republic. Over the 3rd attempt, and then the 2nd attempt at this height to the long jump. And this is Corentin Kampener of Belgium. No mark in his first round, back to the high jump. And the Hungarian, so the bar still at 2:15 to remind you, this is Peter Bakosi. So, almost unbelievable, I feel, that we've come towards the conclusion of day 2 of these European Athletics Team Championships here in Norway. So many finals have come thick and fast. We've seen 2 Ingebrigtsen brothers taking victory, as well as a number of special performances. That lifetime best in the women's triple jump for Davile Kilty to win that competition, 14:28 she managed in not the best conditions, albeit the wind went in her favour. So the Lithuanians, her teammates all on the outside. Nasha Kaita, Delia Taita, Regalaita and Yakima Bichuta. So the way this works is that we will have A finals and B finals, and the times overall will matter. In Vasa a couple of years ago, Ireland, by virtue of doing well in the B final, actually came through to 2nd overall. Hungary. I wonder whether they might have Sara Mato, the good 400-metre hurdler, 18-year-old who went this morning. Ireland, Molly Scott on their first leg, and they have a fantastic relay quartet. Ciara Neville, patient Chumbugala, also waiting. National record for the Irish on their way to a silver medal at the World Under-20s in Finland last year. And Molly Scott, a terrific starter. So no surprise to see her on the first leg. Belgium, Belarus, the Irish women, the Hungarians, and the Lithuanians. So it's the first of the two finals of the women's 4x100 metres then. Hungarian has first of all gone off to a terrific start. Ciara Neville trying to chase her down for Ireland. But look at the Hungarian quartet in lane 7, in lane 6 in fact, in the red. Second from the outside. Now Phil Healy for Ireland, stepping on the gas. And giving it to patience Chumbugala. The Belgians are going to come through from Hungary, from Ireland. A bit of a blessing Okagbare moment there, which I won't dwell too much on. So a really good run from the Belgian quartet, 44.53. So let's have another look. Belgium on the inside. Chumbugala slightly embarrassed. Unfortunate moment for her. The hairpiece comes off and Hungary come through. So 2 tenths separating them in the end. And that is perhaps just more than a hair's width, if you'll excuse the pun. 45 seconds for the Irish quartet. 45 minute and 45.44 in fourth place for Belarus. Shane Howard in the long jump for Ireland.
On the big screen we see Howard for Ireland in the second attempt in long jump. With some of the standings in the high jump competition, we have 5 attempts left. Belarus is in the lead with...
So 7 meters and 18 in the first round. That is well back from what is a particularly splintered board. Very close to the track. Once again, there is quite a strong headwind down the home straight, with the jumpers heading the other way, so they get a tailwind. Lubenik of Slovakia clears at 2:18, so he's really building his way into this competition. Cleared at the third attempt at 2:12 and the second at 2:15, which we saw. And that was much better textbook technique from the Slovakian. So unusual trajectory, what we see. Clearing at the first attempt after second and third failures. It's almost a Benjamin Button approach to the high jump. Tall figure of Andrius Glabauskas of Lithuania, though, would do well to match Bubenik in terms of technique, who now is the only athlete to clear 2:18. That's why he's at the top of the standings. Amels of the Netherlands. Hashtag man bun goals. One failure at the previous height, one failure so too at 2 meters and 18. Dmitry Nabokov of Belarus, perhaps the favourite, by virtue of his 2 meters 36 national record, European under-23 champion 2 years ago. This is Alperen Asset, 2:30 his best, so that puts him third in the rankings overall. Donosan of Romania in between them. Oh, wow. Sticks his tongue out. He knows, but nearly pulled it all together there. Let's have another look. Hugely. Just taking the bar off in the end. Getting advice from his coach will help rectify that. Over to the long jump. Kitterson down the runway. Can he get close to that 8-meter best? 7:68 thus far, puts him in second place at the end of the first round, as we now have moved into the second. Thomas Veshelka, 7:79, our leader. Runway looks as though it's drowned out a little bit, but possibly a little bit slippery. A number of athletes well back from the board. 7:56, no improvement for Kitversund as we get ready for the first of two finals of the men's 4x100 metres. So Hungary will go on the outside, the sprint hurdler Valdo Schuks featuring for them. Belgian quartet from lane 6. Jacques Harvey and Emre Zafir Barnes, 200 and 100 respectively, they feature individually. And the Irish and the Lithuanians. Seems to be two different Lithuanian kits, and that one almost identical to the Irish, especially from behind. So Lithuania, Ireland, Turkey, Belgium and Hungary looking for times here, with a lineup featuring the rest of the nations to follow in a few moments' time. Lanes 3 to 8 being used. Really good start for the Belgians as we watch the first set of changeovers. Disqualification would mean no points. So just getting the baton round would help. Emre Zaffo Barnes looking strong. Of course, the strongest senior level they'd have world champion Ranal Guliev in their team, but a very impressive performance from this Turkish quartet. Looks like Madden bringing the baton home for Ireland, who ran in the 100 metres earlier on with the bleach blonde hair. Turkey, Belgium, Ireland, the top three. So 39.46. Remember that time from the Turkish quartet and see if anyone can better it. The Netherlands among those to feature in the second of the two finals. Tatiana Kalalovic, the favourites here. The Belarusian national record holder 67.47 is her best here in the javelin. So just off to the right hand side a little bit. Once again, I'm sure the runway could be a little bit damp. And throughout the day, there does seem to have been a bit of a headwind. 61.17. Long jump, Gabriel Bitan, second round. You can see just 1 centimetre would gain him an extra point. Fast on the runway, just battling to hang in the air as long as possible. Bitan, lifetime best, 7.96. Didn't make the final at the European Under-23s, frustratingly, and over the board, making a mark on the plasticine here. So a bit more frustration for him. It's been such a strong performance, though, from the Romanian team thus far. Very interested to see what the standings overall will look like at the end of day 2. Nabokov, clearance in the high jump this time. But one of those who could perhaps take victory while performing within himself. You can see more height to spare there. Few drops of rain on the top of the bar there. So that's his clearance at 2.18. Asset of Turkey faces the same task and has the same result. Turkey were a little way back on where we expected them to be in the standings. They were close to promotion to the Super League 2 years ago. So plenty to cheer for those Turkish spectators. Dolfe Armels, the Dutchman here, just stuttered with the run-up slightly, but fantastic jump in the end for the tall Dutchman. So he clears 2.18 as well. Peter Bakosi, we lost at the previous height of 2.15. And Ellingson at 2.08, Cusson at 2.12, meaning his best clearance was 2.08. The height before that, And Adonisan of Romania, I think, also out as well.
744 for the Turkish long jumper, Glacic, ranked 7.
So 39.46, quite comfortably a victory for the Turkish quartet. So a few minutes till the women come out for the second final of the women's 4x100 metres. So gives us good opportunity to concentrate on the high jump. You can see there, in total, throughout the competition, you're only allowed up to 4 failures. And that's why sometimes, without having had 3 goes at a particular height, athletes progress no further. Very expectant looking Belarusian coach in the background. Here goes Bubanik. Oh, so nearly made it, and he knows what he needs to do to get everything right. So just taking the bar off here. First attempt at 2:21. And that means he can go no further in the competition, but has managed to clear 2:18. So that's how it all works. Well, Lithuania then, disqualified. Having a look at the full confirmation of the result on the screen, because they had a great run.
First attempt, 2:21. It's equal to the track record.
Amels also walking a bit of a tightrope here, but looked great at 2:18. How is he at 2:21? No. That bar came off very early. So unique rules, European Team Championships for the high jump, whereas in the non-vertical jumps, if you like, all the other field events, goodness me, that was actually a little bit closer than I thought. Better jump than I gave him credit for initially. Yeah, so the top few athletes do get 1 more 4th round go, whereas everyone else gets 3. In the vertical jumps, you are allowed up to 4 failures. Asset is doing well, has 2 failures, and he has his first go here at 2:21 meters. Really powerful. He's not the tallest athlete across these, and that, you know, across a high jump field, that's not unfair to say, but his 3rd failure there, 2:21, he's now attempting, and he'll get instant video analysis. Kaladovic in the javelin, space to spare on the runway. Not having her best day, I think it's fair to say. Even this year, she's managed 67.22. The European champion 3 years ago, 5th at the Olympic Games, 6th at the World Championships. But so comfortably in front, it doesn't matter too much. Over to her teammate Nabokov. So no one managing to clear 2:21. But Nabokov doesn't need to, in effect, at this stage anyway. That was his first failure out of 4 allowed. Asset, he has 1 failure at this height. Oh my goodness me, what a clearance for the Turk. Looked like for a moment that bar would come down. It puts him into the lead, the only athlete to have cleared 2:21. 2:24 this year, the University Games silver medalist. He's allowed one more failure as well at the next height of 2:24. And that will put Nabokov on his toes, and a little bit more than maybe we expected him to be. 2:28 this year, just 23 years of age. Stern-looking coach in the background. Bet he's good fun at dinner parties. Nabokov. No, second failure. Both at this height and overall. Well, he hasn't really been close with either of those two jumps. So Lithuania taking gold, top spot, maximum points in the women's triple jump. In the men's long jump now, Marius Fadakis, 7:16. He is in 11th place overall. If he could just improve by 4 centimetres, it would mean 2 points instead of 1. It could make all the difference. That was good on the board. It could help Lithuania not get relegated if he manages a 4 centimetres improvement. You never know how close things are going to be at the end of the 3 days in the standings. It's a big improvement. 7 metres and 43, he goes up into a position which would score him 3 points. And in fact, he's now level with Shane Howard of Ireland. And now just a 2 centimetre improvement would get him 5 points. That is how great the European Team Championship is. You can see that the surface that's been put there, a bit wet, a bit damp. Kippersund. Well, good jump, but he's managed 8 metres this year. Comes into this competition ranked the best athlete way back there from the board. Comes in as the number 1 and is in 4th overall. Slightly vulnerable there. May not get another go. We'll wait and see. Asset of Turkey. If this next moment goes well, he could take victory. A slightly unexpected one as well. University Games silver medalist. Glavauskas, the Lithuanian in the background, was 3rd in that competition. Alperen Asset, looking for a season's best to equal it indeed, but so he'll manage no better than 2:21, but he'll end up being the only athlete that clears at that height and take all 11 points available. And that is what matters at the European Team Championships. So you can see now with the red graphic next to the height. We'll continue no farther. Nabokov. So it looks like he passed with his last go, but no, he can't clear at 2:24. 2:36 Belarusian national record. 2:28 in 2019. Well, I said that Kalanovic maybe isn't having her best day, but is so far in the clear it doesn't matter. Nabokov, well, he's 1 point off the absolute top.
close. Now it's going to be exciting measuring the final throw.
Assets already closing for pictures. Nabokov with his focus on his last attempt. I wonder if tucking his shirt in and tightening his shorts will prove to be a lucky omen. Eda Tukçuz in the javelin, so impressive in Vasa a couple of years ago as a 20-year-old. Now 22, but she was second there. She was fifth at the World Championships in 2017 in London. That Turkish national record, 67.21. Top spot is there for the taking. Tukçuz way, way back on her best. 64 meters this year. I wonder what Nabokov is deciding there with the judges. Let's focus on the javelin and Csillági of Hungary. Long run up for her. And get the speed down the runway. Unfortunately, such a difficult thing to do. Come to the dead stop in the javelin. Block and then transfer all of that energy through the speed that you built up on the runway. She is in second spot. Just missed out on a medal at the University Games. 60.44 this year. She's closer to her best, certainly, than Kalanovic and Tukçuz. So Belarus and Turkey at the sharp end of both these field events that we're watching at the moment. High jump and now javelin. Kalanovic through her paces. No improvement. So just catching up with these last few throws, and tell you also that Emma Oosterwegel, the heptathlete who just missed out on a medal in the European Under-23 heptathlon, improved in the third round, 52.57. That puts her in a healthy fifth place. The battle for promotion, of course. We have a Dutch quartet running here alongside the Norwegians. And Portugal, who were leading the standings. Bozzolo. Here, Katja Sado, European Under-20 silver medalist. One of the youngest competitors there, 16 years of age, and the fastest overall throughout that competition. 11:37, the national Under-18 best in the semi-final. The boy of Romania, another appearance for her, 11:50 sprinter. So we've already seen half of the teams in this competition. And Belgium looks strong in the first of the finals. 44.53 was their time, 44.73 for Hungary in second place. Lithuania were disqualified. Romania, Slovak Republic, Netherlands, Portugal, Norway and Turkey. Good start for the Portuguese quartet here, but now Katja Sado making up terrific ground. She surprised even herself on her way to that silver medal. Did not expect to be the fastest athlete at the European Under-20s. Marie van Hoornstein winning the 100 meters for her country. Well, the Dutch perhaps with more sprinting prowess in terms of their historical precedent. Oh no, but the Dutch have dropped the baton, or haven't managed to get it round, and Portugal are the ones that benefit. And look at Romania on the inside. What drama here. The Norwegians have gone too. Absolutely extraordinary stuff. Norway, well, just finishing there. Azine Okporebo coming through the line incredibly belatedly. What on earth happened there to Norway and the Netherlands? Shouting at her teammate, no. He did not get it round. Same story with the Netherlands. Look at the Portuguese athlete in the background and also in the centre. That was as good, if not better, than she expected, but that's disappointing for the home crowd. But they've had their fair share of delight so far. Bit of a post-mortem needed there. That could really play into the hands of the Portuguese women. Ladislav Bulakov in the men's long jump. Look at those eyes. Such determination, driving down the runway. Straining to get every few centimetres he can. 7.75 this year, 10 centimetres further at best. Another athlete with room to spare on the board. .778, so that is his new season's best, in fact, with Veshelka just in front. But thrill for these Portuguese women who've come through for victory, and they will take 11 points somewhat unexpectedly. So let's have another look at this changeover for the Netherlands. Oh, they were close. Norway weren't. That was a bit of a nightmare for the Norwegians. But, yeah, that final change from the Netherlands, it was a bit like putting your hand in a lucky dip box and rummaging for a present. Just didn't get connection hand to hand. Well, the rain coming down as we head on into the evening, but it hasn't dampened the enthusiasm of the crowd. It was lapped up by Philip Ingebrigtsen. The sun came out as his reward for crossing the line as well. Asset in the high jump, though, taking 11 points for Turkey. Again, slightly unexpected. Nabokov only 2.18 his best. And a good placing for Bubenik, the Slovakian. Kaladovic, 61 metres was all she needed in the end. Silagi, really strong showing from Hungary. And Tuxus, 54 metres. Expected more from her. You can see the rain coming down. Not ideal, slightly short runway. That's why they put that matting on top of the other pit. But Kiplerson might have done it with the last. Does he get the white flag? The only athlete to have managed 8 meters in his lifetime. Did so this year. Just look at his focus. pulling slightly to the left. What is this measurement for Kittlesund? Is it one final cheer for the Norwegians? Is it close to 8 meters? 7.76. So it does at least move him up 1 extra point. And the man he's just replaced, that is Ivo Tavares, the Portuguese. So these top 4 men getting one last go. Tavares now has to respond. 770 is best. 776 is now what he needs. Once again, looks like another good jump. At the moment, the top 4 separated by just 9 centimeters. The top 2 are only 1 centimeter apart. This could make a huge difference. Tavares. 7.55 in the end. He gave it a good shot, but will remain in 4th spot, having been displaced. So it looks like Bulakov is happy with how things are, with the rain now falling harder and the athletes sheltering from the wind and the rain as well. I wonder whether Veshelka of Slovakia will decide that he's best placed where he is. Well, yes, I mean, if Bulakov won't jump, he can't improve. And that means that Veshelka, no point jumping either in these conditions. That new lifetime best means 7.79 ahead of 7.78 Slovakia from Belarus. Kittlesund, the Norwegian, albeit he would have wanted to get close to that 8-meter PB. 7.76. So 3 centimeters between the top 3 in the end. A pensive looking Thomas Veshelka is declared the winner. Quite sensible from these guys. So victories really are being shared among these athletes. In the end, I should correct myself there, because Portugal, they crossed the line first in that second of those finals, but by virtue of having the 3rd fastest time overall, they will take 9 points. Still, a healthy chunk more than the likes of Norway and the Netherlands. Right, Reshmeves competing individually here as well as part of this relay quartet. Kasia Farley will go on the final leg. Phone call, hi Mum, I'm on the TV. Interesting. But hey, if the athletes are giving the camera some love, it helps the atmosphere. It's all going on the big screen. The crowd are all kept happy in this wet weather, appalling weather in fact. So European indoor champion Jan Volko on the last leg for Slovak Republic, and Babenka returns for Belarus following a victory in the javelin through Kaladovic a moment ago, and 10 points for Nabokov in the men's high jump. The last action here on day 2. One more chance to get points on the board ahead of the final day tomorrow. Fabulous day of action it's been. Interesting to see what Slovakia can do with Volko and Balush. But Netherlands, you'd think the favourites here, Joris van Gool, junior international, Chirandi Martina, household name in Dutch sprinting. And Hensley Paulina, who ran in the individual 100 metres. So first set of changeovers. Looking pretty clean. Netherlands going well, screaming hand. Looked fairly effective there, over to Paulina. With Romania on the outside. Ngoye. And Chirandi Martina, did he get that in time? Martina down the home straight then, looking for the fastest time overall. It's quicker than Turkey by best part of a second. That's just what we expected from Chirandi Martina. So they were first across the line. As always, we wait and see the full confirmed result in a relay. Slippery conditions, but track service looking fantastic. It is, in fact, if you were watching the European Under-23s, same surface. Oh, did he get that in time, Martina? That's my only question. Oh, I'm not sure that he did.
Netherlands 38.69, Portugal 39.79, Belarus 40.25, Romania 40.38, Slovakia 40.77, and Norway 41.33.
We'll wait for full clarification. Kashafali there. On the right-hand side, newly classified T12 athlete.
Så ska vi vinna om att morgondagens startkonferenser går i Sandnes.
Well, I wonder if Paulina and Martina know that that was a close changeover. It was almost as though they were replaying it in their heads. Result from the men's long jump, Veshelka, lifetime best. And just look at how close it was. 4 athletes, 9 centimetres between them. And it makes the difference between 11 and 8 points for the likes of Veshelka and Tavares, who was beaten with that effort from Kiplasund. Improved thanks to the home crowd, that effect they can have. So Netherlands declared the winner. Sunglasses and rain jacket. Well, I suppose they keep you dry in some way, particularly when the rain is blowing into your eyes, and it's high time for the crowd to start vacating the stadium. But it's been a fabulous day of action. Headlines, no question, by the 2 Ingebrigtsens. 2 out of 3 that we will see. It is confirmed, as we thought. I was holding my breath there, you know, because it looked like it. I'm sure you watching along as well. Martina did not have that baton under control before the line. They were shown as the winners, but the Netherlands, as you'll see here, disqualified. Well, I should think there'll be a few words from the Dutch coaches, particularly those in charge of the relays, because I wonder whether this has really dealt them a blow in terms of their promotion campaign. And it wasn't particularly strong from the Norwegians as well, albeit, let's be honest, we know them better for the likes of middle distance running than sprinting. Turkey at the top then, by virtue of what we saw in that first final. Again, Portugal have 2 relay teams at the sharp end, so 2 in the top 3, 3rd for the women, 2nd for the men, and a good showing from Belgium. And we're looking at here another questionable changeover from the Dutch. Norwegian looked a bit stuttery there as well. Camera focused some attention on him afterwards. This is the changeover to Paulina. Goes off pretty hard, but well inside the zone. And there is a lake round the back of this track. The track is quickly turning into one. we shall be underwater tomorrow. Portugal now leading by virtue of those excellent relay performances from Norway, from the Netherlands. So the Portuguese really capitalising on some disappointments for the others, as well as having some excellent showings. It's just getting in within the top 2, 3, 4 and 5 consistently that makes so much difference. Vega has done that earlier on in the triple jump, and Tavares in the men's long jump, just a couple off the top of my head. But that concludes a fabulous second day here in Sandnes.